just a teeny weeny, itty bitty one. And if I keep on talking, I'll be overdone. Pickle and onion, hot dog. What was that?
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's ride!
Hey guys, so listen, right off the bat, I just gotta ask you a question. First of all, welcome to the show. It's the first official show of August. It's August 3rd, 2026. And the third quarter has officially begun. I would just like to let you know that there was a bunch of OBS updates that was foisted upon me and anybody else who uses this program. And the one thing that is making a little bit, is not really making any sense for me right now is a lot of the things that have popped up audio-wise. Just got to let you know, if you hear any echoing, I have a suspicion that one thing already echoed, and that because they changed everything. Audio output, monitoring and muting output, that's gone. Now it's either just enable monitoring or no monitoring, which makes no fucking sense to me. So I don't know where they buried all of these things that were once very easy and turnkey, but we'll get through it. As long as you're hearing me right now, we will work it out. We will work it out. We can work it out. We can work it out. And if we don't, then fuck it. I don't even give a shit anymore. So welcome, ladies and gents. I'm so happy to have you here on a moon day. And how the hell was your weekend? How was it? You tell me. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody just popping along and calling in, hopefully at some point tonight, because I have so much to talk about. I hope I have time for calls, because I would love to hear some of your thoughts on the shit that I have ready for you. Of course, over the weekend, we got the news that Vinny Pastore died. Big pussy from The Sopranos, but a whole bunch of other things. Mickey Blue Eyes, especially. We had a lot of fun. I remember talking to him about Mickey Blue Eyes and a few other things that he was in a 2012 episode. There I am in 2012 wearing a Rolling Stones shirt. I don't even really listen to Rolling Stones, but that was back in a day where whenever you got for Christmas, you just wore until, it was all from Kohl's too. Anyhow, I uploaded this over the weekend. Last night, actually, at 8 o'clock, I just put it out there on the Zaralza New York the channel. I also listed, Quite Frankly, as a collaborator, so you can watch it. And it's just a really fun time. There's Anthony. There's Vinny. And we had a great time just talking Hollywood, all inside stories of his and shit like that. And it was really an awesome night. It was just a very special night that night. Go for Launch, our good friends Go for Launch. They were a band that was playing in the other room. Of course, Derek, who plays bass for Set the Charge, was in Go for Launch at that time. We poached him years later. He had Vinny Pastore right there in the room. Vinny Brusco's show was coming on up after we were live. So it's just that was just how the studio was every night, especially around then. It was just so fun. And this was a high moment over there in November of 2012. I think November 9th. But he died over the weekend. We got news that he was found. Police went and knocked on his door, a wellness check, because his neighbors couldn't, get in touch with him or anything like that. And he was, they say, natural causes at 80 years old, just found in bed. And he was there for a couple of days, apparently. So that must have been a mess. And there you have it. Here's a little something for you, though. Here's a little something for you, because there's a whole bunch of Vinny Pastore videos out there. And before long, I'll be able to extract some of our own shorts and get them out, too. But here you go. Here's something. Talking about Italian-Americans. Italian-American excellence.
The backbone of America. They didn't come over here and stand on a street corner and were bookies. They built bridges. They built tunnels. They built homes.
That's right.
They were hard-working men.
Yeah.
My grandfather on both sides worked for the railroad. Santa Donato and Pastore. They worked on the railroad. That wasn't an easy gig. They worked on the railroad. And they struggled.
Yeah.
And they wanted the kids to go to school.
That's the real sting of the day.
That's the true American.
And the Italian-American. You know, when I went to Italy, they locked me up and put me in the brig.
Don't say that.
And the Italian-Americans don't give up.
Yeah.
They don't give up.
Yeah.
Look at Anthony Volpe. He ain't giving up.
Unfortunately, he's still on the team today. The trade deadline with the MLB just passed, and the Yankees did exactly ugats. They're just mailing it in. I'm not just fucking everybody. Please boycott the Yankees. Please, if I can just get into the minds of 4 million people, don't buy tickets. I want them to cry. Anyway, that's all true. That's all true. I mean, plenty of that's the last big wave of European immigration to this country. And they were builders, they were workers, and no one talks about how many people actually returned to their country of origin. The estimates are somewhere between like 35 and 40% of people who came here, especially from Europe, in the late 19th century, all throughout the early 20th century. 35 to 40% of them went back. It was tough, and there was no welfare state waiting for you to just, with all these Somalis showing up in England saying, give me food. That didn't exist back then. But what they say about hard times creating strong men, and strong men creating good times, and good times creating Zohran Mamdani and his Chinese cat ladies. No doubt about it. We've got a little bit of an update from this freak. Listen, get a load of this shit. He was asked, this waterhead over here, he was asked, well, what's going to happen if people come in from outside of the city or whatever, and they are going to try to get 30% reduced price produce? What's going to how are you going to make sure that it's just eligible people from New York? Who's eligible? Well, he had some answers.
How are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that deal, basically? And is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, G-Pack, to add some additional details.
Yeah, for this, I'm going to pass it over to my chief asparagus advisor, mean mugging Chinese lady number one.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing, and also we manage who's buying, and that is focused on everyday New Yorkers. So we are mindful of that. And so we're going to make sure that we have all the things in place to ensure that that does not happen.
Brain surgeons, they brought in the best of the best. These are brain surgeons right here. Library card-esque, blah, 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 blah. Brain surgeons. So again, why not create another discriminatory exclusive voucher program that could be redeemed at any store or bodega in the city? If you're just creating more food stamps, you want to create coupons or something like that, then why not just create a coupon book that only some people are able to take part in, and go into the city, into privately owned businesses, and give them business? You know, everybody thinks that this is just going to be a barb in the side of Whole Foods, that they're taking it to the big corporate grocers and shit like that. Are you fucking kidding me? They're all so fucking stupid. So essentially what they're saying is, and of course they couldn't do that because that would benefit private business and then whatever, businesses who are already being robbed in order to make this boondoggle even possible in the first place. So it's not even about throat punching people anymore, I don't think. I think that every morning I want these, instead of an alarm clock, I would love a seagull or a rat to shit on their faces every morning to wake them up. A giant glob of either rat or seagull shit. I want it to fall right there between the eyes and kind of like dribble down into the cheek. That's what I would like every morning for these people. Civil rights and it's a civil rights violation if you ask for an ID to vote in New York City. But now you have to have your iris scanned to take home a dozen GMO apples. Incredible. How many times do we have man on the street people that go into New York City to ask black Americans who live in New York, do you have an ID? Because every Democrat out there who wants to make sure that anybody can vote at any time with absolutely no verification of who they are, always cite that this is going to be very impactful. It's going to be a poll tax for black people, for women, for minorities of every stripe, whatever the fuck it is. If that's the case, if it was a poll tax, if it's Jim Crow 2.0, then what the hell is this going to? How many people are going to die of starvation? There are no IDs. People don't have access to that. No IDs. Thank you, mean mug. Very nice. Mamdani wasn't done though. He's open to forcing also, this is by way of the Western Journal, MSN. He is open to forcing New Yorkers to pay cash reparations for slavery. We were very complicit. Okay? We were very complicit. We sent people, we drafted Northern boys who wanted nothing to do with the war, who didn't give a shit about slavery at all, who didn't own slaves, to go and die for. That's why there was riots. There was draft riots in New York. Once they realized the Emancipation Proclamation was being used as a political weapon to further the cause of the Union and to try to stifle any kind of alliances that could be made by the South in Europe. Everybody in New York's like, fuck no. I'm not going down there. And they actually had to redirect some of the troops that were just finished fighting in Gettysburg to come up and quell the riots in New York. Like, we don't want anything to do with it. We're very complicit. We were very complicit. Very complicit. Says the newcomer, the Johnny come lately. Wasn't even here 7 years ago. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Fucking freak. Unbelievable. Here, he goes and says he's talking to some guy, I don't know, some podcaster. The name of the podcast is The Root. Imagine that.
If a commission studying reparations in this city recommended cash reparations for people impacted.
If we can put together a commission, if we can get together a committee of New York liberals to study whether or not it would be a good thing to give just no strings attached cash to people with a really good tan. Do you think that would be, what do you think? Good? Bad? Can we finally put this to bed? That would be the price you can ask somebody. What's the amount? What's the dollar amount to get you to shut the fuck up for all time? What's the dollar amount for you to shut the fuck up and leave it all away? Just leave it behind. That's where the rubber meets the road, my friends. That's where the rubber really meets the road. It's not about money. It's not about money. It's about erasure. Absolute erasure. Along the way, it'd be nice to, just kind of float through life like driftwood and just have money come from all over the place because there's a tax war going on and you're being used as a delightfully used as a delightful pawn. Yeah, go ahead. Use me as a pawn. Yes, no, slavery has destroyed me in the 21st century. The specter of slavery has destroyed me in the 21st century. Do I get money now? Get money now? Do I discount? What else do I get discounted? Promo code what? Promo code slavery? Incredible.
In New York City, would you support that recommendation?
First, I want to say that I stand by what I submitted.
Yes.
It's the truth.
Yes.
It's not a personal assessment.
It is a personal assessment. You're a freak. Your smirk should be wiped right off your face, and you should be sent packing to some kind of in exile to some kind of balmy, deserted island. That's where you should go, where there are no white people.
And we often think about slavery and the complicity in slavery as being exclusively to certain geographic areas of the country.
Right.
Here in New York City, we were very complicit. And so I look forward to whatever those findings are. I can't give you an answer in advance of them.
I can't give you an answer in advance of them. Cheekbones. I never played the 9/11 card, when this asshole was elected mayor of New York City. I never played the 9/11. There's a lot of normies out there. We forgot. Looks like we forgot 9/11. Never played that game because, with the election of Mamdani, because you need to be a normie level retard to still think that 9/11 begins and ends with Islam, as much of a cultural danger Islam is, and how incompatible it is with the West. But when Mamdani says this, he legitimizes the 9/11 crowd in another way. Because no American, white or black, owned slaves in the last 8 generations. Because, people tend to forget that there were thousands of black slave owners living in the United States up until the point that the 13th Amendment was passed. Okay? Everybody tends to forget that. Thousands. Like nearly 2,000. I don't know, 2,000-3,000 slave owners, black slave owners. I mean, come on now. And they'll give you reasons. Whoa, no, they were just doing it because they wanted to treat. It was more like a country club, and they were doing it out of compassion. Okay. So 8 generations at least, nobody's owned a slave, and I have to imagine just as many generations since a black American has been held as a slave. So if I have to pay penance for that nonsense, then Mamdani needs to give up his salary as mayor to pay restitution for World Trade Center attack in 2001 and also 1993, by the way. I'm sorry. If we are talking about New York City's being complicit in slavery in the 19th century, then Zohran Mamdani should immediately forfeit his salary as mayor to pay restitution for the World Trade Center in 2001 and 1993. That's it. That's the rule. This is the rare instance in which I will say the official story matters. Okay? Mamdani's bloodline is complicit in 9/11. He's also complicit in modern-day Islamic slave trade, which is thriving in some parts of the world. Thriving. So this is some of the shit. This is just some of it. Not all of it, but some of it. And away we go. Now, what's this next thing I have for you over here? RFK. You guys see this? Let me go into the chat room real quick. Let me see. Did you guys see this? Who saw the RFK stuff? I'm looking into the chat. Did anybody watch the full RFK versus Dana Bash face-off? I think somebody told me it was like nearly 20 minutes long. You saw it? Okay, I saw some people in there. Twitch is starting to kick it up. Yeah, I don't. I couldn't watch the whole thing. But what a mess. What an absolute mess. So RFK goes on to CNN to sit across the table from this sad horse-faced woman. She always looks like somebody just pissed on her teddy bear. Oh, this sad, long, stretched out face. And she's having a time with RFK Jr. Now, depending on where you go, if you go into the comments on Facebook or something like that, I'm sure that there's going to be a whole bunch of a whole bunch of Democrat boomers who thinks that she really like spoke truth to power or something like that, when this is not a wheel. This is, you cannot debate Robert Kennedy Jr. on things like vaccines. You can't debate him on things like that. I mean, this is his wheelhouse. Studying the studies, how far it went, how it was portrayed, how it was reported on, the absence thereof. I mean, it's just crazy. So this is going on, and it's one thing I just thought would be really great to parse up with you guys. So here we go. This is RFK and Dana Bash.
You are the HHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country. And it is something that causes problems for people when there is not anything.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth. And the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
Out there in science. It's one of the most studiest things out there in science. Dana Bash is another one of these absolute sociopaths, unfeeling. Honestly, I don't even think she possesses the ability to feel shame. So, but it's still fascinating to watch.
Like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot. I've actually read the science. Let's come back here and debate the science.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course, because you don't have any knowledge, horseface. You don't have any knowledge. Is that even your hair? What is this skull? Let's take a look at the shape of your skull.
No, because I'm not debating.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again to talk about something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Okay, well, guess what? That is my job, to talk to people.
Your job
That's my job, to talk to people. No, that's not what he said. And she didn't say anything else about how it is confirmed. Confirmed. Okay? Not like we didn't know it back then. Not like we didn't know it back then, but now it's just one of those things where there's nowhere to go. We know through admissions from not only Anthony Fauci about how there was nothing scientific about 6 feet, there's nothing scientific about masks. In fact, at first, he was very honest about what masks don't do. And then at the end, he was not only saying that one mask is a lifesaver, but you can only increase the strength and the efficacy of the masks if you double, triple, and quadruple them up. Like it was all nonsense. We saw all of the correspondence with the teachers unions as well, and there was nothing scientific about all of this. Anything, the real things that strangled people, the normalcy out of everyday life and going out there and living your lives and working your jobs, and the alcoholism rates and the dropout rates and the illiteracy rates, all the damage that was done for no reason whatsoever. And when all was said and done. And these people knew it. They knew it. They knew it. 100%. But Dana Bash is one of those sociopaths. She is a hit woman. She is ready to do whatever the hell needs to be done. And then she just very, very doesn't acknowledge any of that stuff. Just say, it's my job to talk to people. You weren't talking to people. You were giving liars a platform, and then you were shaming everybody out there for not completely upending their life and being part of a science experiment.
Am I allowed to talk? Yes, yes. And my job is to get as much information as I can. And what we were doing,
skepticism,
what we were doing in COVID, and still with regard to these vaccines is getting the best information, the best science that we can.
Incredible.
And putting it out there. And sir, what you are doing is causing information to be out there that is not accurate.
Who was lying to
the
you?
national.
Can you admit that you were being lied to, Dana? No, he wasn't. He listen.
I hate them.
I just can't. I can't. We're trying. We're trying. I remember she said something along the lines of, we're trying to be. We were trying to just do the best we could. She put that line out there too. We were doing the best we could. It was a frightening time, and we didn't know what was going on. Yes, okay, gotcha. You were trying to be the light in the darkness over here. Trying to be the light in the darkness. Look at that. That's what she wanted. People wanted to know how many people were dying in real time. RFK brought up all of the constant tickers about infection rates and also bodies that they were stacking by any means necessary, because we know that they compiled those numbers from several sources for over the course of a year. Yeah, people wanted to know how many people were dying in real time. They needed to know how many PCR tests came back positive in real time. It was scary. It was, it's scary. Because the first thing I do when I'm scared about something is I smother to death all the children in the neighborhood, because I'd rather they be killed by someone they know than something new and scary. That's exactly what they're talking about. We were scared. We didn't know what was going on. So your first instinct was kill everything? Destroy any sense of normalcy? Destroy it? Like, no, we hadn't. Don't even, please. Please. This is why I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, don't ever worry about not having encyclopedic knowledge about vaccines committed to memory. Don't worry about not having any kind of, anything you can recall. Just always remember that these people hate you. They absolutely loathe you. They demonize you constantly. All their policy prescriptions, they are based in fantasies about taking more from you, leaving you less, leaving less for your children, reducing the world population. They talk about it all the time. What kind of person do you trust? How can you trust a person like that? That type of person doesn't have your best interests in mind. They don't even have their own interests in mind. They certainly don't want to improve your fucking health. I mean, if I could get a God's honest guarantee that the shots that Dana Bash wants me to take was pure saline, nothing in it at whatsoever, I would say, no thank you, Skeletor bitch, you horse-faced twat. I don't want anything that you're selling me. No thank you, Skeletor. It's really that simple. Are you a scientist? Yes, I am. I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist. I study people. I study you people, Dana. I study this woman over here. I study women like her and men like her. Because there's plenty of men like her. I take careful note of how often these people express their desire to limit my ability to speak, limit my ability to save my own money, do what I want with my own money, to eat clean food that hasn't had Bill Gates' urine sprayed all over it. Wants to deny my ability to live without guilt of being born sometimes. You abortionist demons. And I don't want you influencing my children or mandating medicine. Yes. So yes, I am a scientist. That's the science that I study. And if it works, again, why do you need me to take it? If one thing or another works, why do you need me to take it? You think that they would actually hide the shots from conservatives? You think they would hide the shots from us so that the world could actually be rid of us? But alas, COVID wasn't that deadly. So people like Dana had high school band kids playing clarinet through little slits that were cut into their paper masks. We did the best we could. Well, then you shouldn't be given a second chance at anything ever again in life, Dana. You should never have a second chance again at anything. But you will remain gainfully employed, of course, because that's just the way it goes. Oh my. Oh dear. How the hell, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about all that? It's just nuts. Oh, man. Anywho. So that was that. Now, over the weekend, let me see here. Where is this? We got a little bit more from Europe. We got a little bit more from Europe. The lines are open. I just figure I wanted to just start hearing from you guys. 914-200-0269. Go ahead. Light up the phone lines, and let's see what the hell's going on there. Now, over in Europe, we got a little bit more of, the inner workings of what's happening or what happened in Spain. Which, depending on who you talk to, no, it's always been Morocco. It always will be Morocco. Yeah, okay. All right. So that's what we have here. That's what we have going on. Now, seriously, I did not really expect this to fill in so quickly when it came to who the hell was influencing shit out there. Obviously, you know that it is being perfectly orchestrated because you can't get 60,000 some odd people show up at a beach outside of a city anywhere without a good amount of coordination. That doesn't just happen. All right, this is not a flash mob at Grand Central that's dancing the Macarena. It's just not. It doesn't happen. Now, what I was seeing over the weekend was pretty interesting things. I'm not going to be going into a deep dive with it because I'm sure you might have seen a lot of it. But the timeline that really was made clear was you have the Spanish Prime Minister denouncing Israel and their militarism, not only in Gaza, but of course what's going on in Iran right now. So you had this. Is Israel really a part of all this stuff? Because you had people were wondering because there was an Alex Soros kind of a presence places. There was Benjamin Netanyahu's son who had 2019 tweets that were pulled up and all that shit that almost seemed like, there was emphasis being put on all these places around the world, especially Ceuta and other things like that. And it really is all just about who is counter messaging the Israeli missions in the Middle East and around the world. It really just seemed like it was coming down to that. And it I don't know, it seems pretty airtight to me. So all these timelines really came down and flowed from these statements made by the Spanish Prime Minister, who seems like a limp-wristed asshole as it is, but that's besides the point. And then you have a few vague promises by Benjamin Netanyahu himself about, prices that need to be paid by Spain for counter messaging all of their military adventures in Iran and Gaza. Then you have, like I said, the Netanyahu son's Twitter activity. That seems very encouraging for what would be considered a Moroccan reconquista of the area. And then now you have 60,000 people just show up and begin marauding through Ceuta, saying that they were sent social media posts about how the doors were open to all. Like, this is what people were saying. Of course, Nick Shirley went out there. And I see some calls coming in. I'll start taking them in a second. Nick Shirley went out there. He probably booked the first plane. And here's what he said. Hold on a second. He's talking to Moroccan migrants in Spain.
Here you have a group of them that all came through from Morocco. Where are you guys going now? Paris, Londres, Almania, Bruxelles, Belgica, Denmark, Holanda. I love you. And how old are you guys? El mundo. 28. He's 28. 21.
They're all under 30. Why didn't the women come here? This next question.
¿Qué mujeres no vinieron aquí?
The women are in the house, like it says in Islam.
All these men right here, not a single woman in sight. He said something about woman in Islam. What does Islam think about women?
Yeah, he was saying that Islam says that women must be kept at home.
So they are being kept at home while the men go and plunder Europe and are entered into one of God knows how many welfare programs, sheltered by European left-wing judges. And they are essentially have their pick of any European woman that is walking around. That's it. That's just what it is. They're nary a woman in sight. It's absolutely insane. Why do you have a military? I said this on Friday morning. Why do you have a military if not for making sure that your border is controlled, it is tightly locked down, and that when you see a horde of 60,000 marauders coming your way, that you're not leveling them? Don't give me any bullshit about, no, they need to be processed. It's inhumane. Inhumane. Yeah, I know. Being invaded is not necessarily polite. Not necessarily polite. But again, just like with the caravans in the southern border on key election years and all that other stuff, are saying, this is insane. Whoever the hell's doing this is a win-win situation. It's either they're going to get hundreds of thousands of people into one target country or another in one fell swoop and be able to continue the cultural replacement and degradation of the of whatever target country it is, or the host country that is being invaded does what is actually the right thing in defending their borders and repels everybody with lethal force if need be, and then it becomes a story about humanitarian crisis and about crimes against humanity, about these people who are poor and just looking for a better life. Meanwhile, this is insane. There's no two ways about it. It's so over the top. It's so over the top. And I think all the people, all of the traitors to Western civilization that are inside of Europe and actually like this, they want this to happen. I'm sure that many of them were just pissed off that so many came all at once, because you have to imagine that this is happening thousands, tens of thousands a day, perhaps, just from all over the place. And that's good. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. But at least you don't have a public relations scenario that is constantly bubbling up all the time. You don't have to deal with it like this. It's a little bit easier. So they're continuing. Moroccan migrants. Let's keep going. So they leave their wives.
So they leave all their wives back in their country where there's no money, no jobs, no food, but then they come here all by themselves?
Correct.
He's saying, now ask them how it was planned in Morocco. Was it through social media? He's asking a small boy who came over. They said they're speaking in Arabic. This is for podcast land. I know everybody at home can read. They're speaking in Arabic right now. It said, no, it wasn't through TikTok, and we'll see where it goes now.
The police in Morocco, they told them to come.
So here you have a group of them that all came.
The police in Morocco told them to come. Now, there were others who said that they did see a lot of advertising on certain social media outlets, whatever it was, accounts. There was definitely social media messaging that was going on. There's definitely, that was happening. But I mean, we saw that. We saw men that were in uniform. You have to imagine that they were either police, law enforcement, paramilitary from Morocco that were there when some of these dump trucks were unloaded with dozens and dozens of men in there, just running out like it was D-Day, like it was Saving Private Ryan. Here's another one for you. And an illegal immigrant out in Europe, I think in the UK, is being asked, why should English people pay for you to have a house?
English people pay for you to have a house.
Maybe they give me house, they give me anything I can need, they give me.
Just give it.
Yeah.
Why?
Because people in England is perfect.
Oh, so you think we're all rich? I should.
It's by the scruff of the neck. By the scruff of the neck. This is what we were talking about with the Vinny Pastore and the Italians that came over and the Europeans that came over in the late 19th century, early 20th century. They ain't come, give me a house, give me anything, give me. Are you serious? Who the fuck looks at this and says, well, in 1 or 2 generations, we'll be good. You serious? There's no even base programming to build this into anything. There's nothing there. There's no foundation to build this into anything that's fruitful. What the hell are you building on? I mean, damn. Now, and of course, like everything else, there's always so many other. You notice just what everybody's limitations to be able to process what's happening really is. Like, that there's only a handful of people you can have a full-on conversation with about this stuff because they only have a certain way of being able to see things. You think about something like Spanish actor Javier Bardem says that the migration of 60,000 people from Morocco to Spain was planned by Israel because Spain opposes the genocide in Palestine. Now, some people say, well, it seems like that makes a lot of sense. I mean, we have a very, very provocative chronology of events, statements made, and then what do you know? What do you know? Just happened in Ceuta over here. But on the other hand, you look at this and you think about, who is Javier Bardem? Who are these people who look at this and as I'm saying, you have somebody, people out there, the whole anti-Israel thing and the pro-Palestinian thing and all that, it has taken root in some very, very shallow-ass, dumbass, low IQ political movements. It has taken, it's crazy. Because ultimately, just like when, you remember when Turkey, this was years ago, when Turkey was threatening Europe by saying, listen, we're going to release all of these migrants from Syria. We're going to release all these migrants from Syria and from Afghanistan that are just champing at the bit to get into Europe over here. And Europe's like, please, no. I was like, why not? Why not? What are you talking about? It's so crazy. It's like, can you explain that one? I mean, I know why that shouldn't be. And I think it actually should go in the opposite direction. Like I saw, it's not only just, hell, let them in little by little. No is the answer. And let's start taking people out of the continent and back where they belong. Okay? Remember, all this was done under the guise of not only we destroyed their lands, wars that no civilian all throughout the West cared anything about or ever wanted, but was done in their name and on their dollar one way or another. Why should we pay the penance for that sin? But, of course, the people waging the wars knew the long game was to destroy Europe. You destroy the Middle East, you eventually destroy Europe, and it's all... Now, I don't know what the hell kind of a kingdom of ashes they're going to rule over afterwards. It's always been the most confusing thing. But, of course, the sacrifice of a person, the sacrifice of a lamb, a goat, a chicken, there's always some kind of a value in that. To sacrifice a continent, to sacrifice a culture, oh man. Imagine that. Imagine the energy that can be pulled out of that. But the leftoid position on things can be so convoluted that they are now like saying straight out that, yeah, of course, diversity is our strength, and to bring all the refugees over here. And some of the women in Ceuta, they still are running that programming. We saw the Spanish chicks sitting there going, come in. Yes, devour me. Come on in. Independence Day, the stripper on the roof on Independence Day welcoming the aliens. So we get that all the time, that diversity is our strength. There's nothing wrong with the, unchecked migration, no matter where it's from, if it's from Muslim majority countries or anything else like that. But now, of course, there's certain aspects of the left that will say, yeah, diversity is our strength. But, Israel is using these people to punish us. Israel is using Moroccans, which is another way of saying diversity, Israel is using them as a weapon. How does that it's just like Mamdani with the ID to get the price controlled celery. It's like, what are you talking about? I thought that showing IDs for anything is bad. If IDs is going to prevent somebody from voting, wouldn't an ID prevent somebody from getting a head of cabbage? It doesn't. They're absolutely insane. This is why I hate to say it, but there's going to come a time. There's going to come a time. I think more and more people are asking, but there's still not enough creature comforts that have left. That the wolves are not necessarily stalking at our front doors just yet. But you know, the people in Ceuta, they've felt that. A lot of people busting down doors in Ceuta. A lot of people bust down doors, started squatting, started stealing. I saw people putting up barbed wire in other parts of Spain, thinking that this stuff was going to go. And then the crazy thing was that you got from the media later on that night, like the same day of this surge of people, tens of thousands of people. I made the comparison on Friday morning that it was almost like a sold out Yankee Stadium showed up at your door, 49,000. But then it just started getting estimated up towards 60,000 people. And then by the end of that day, if not like early the next day, most of the mainstream media were saying that the vast majority of everybody's already gone home. Okay, so it's just all over. Just insane. It's just insane, man. I don't know. Anyway, 914-200-0269. I want to hear what you think. Then we'll go on a really quick break. And then on the other hand, we'll on the other side of the break, we'll do a couple of the things before we are outie. So here we go. Up from upstate New York. Go ahead.
I think about like, I don't know, what is it, 2000, the first Sopranos series, and I was getting on the train up here in Croton Falls, New York, and I saw the black background with the red letters Sopranos, and Vinny Pastore, rest in peace. I drank in the Lollipop Club, but I didn't know him. I never met him, but rest in peace. He's a famous Italian American who made a real fucking impression for a lot of people. God bless him. So COVID, I worked in a fucking high-end grocery store during COVID, and it completely wrecked my ability to comprehend life anymore. We know that like we had a big prepper community up here, like and when we saw this thing happening, the one thing we never accounted for was like, well, some of us did. Like when the general public goes crazy, how do you deal with them? You get away from them. Not going to hurt women and children, but if mothers are masking their children there, I can remember. I mean, I was there. I was in a grocery store.
Well,
I almost got fired. I almost got fired for wearing a mask at first. I was prepared, bro. Like I came to work like ready for fucking the end of the world. And I put a mask on, and the fucking bitch ass manager was like, I'm calling the fucking owner, man. You can't wear a mask. I'm like, if we're going full tilt, I'm going full tilt.
Well, then
I was the first guy to wear a mask.
Well, looks like you were a pioneer. Thank you for that. Well, yeah, I
was.
Yeah, I get. Well, and thank you for the call. I understand what you're saying there. It does screw you up your entire ability to process things when you're not totally disillusioned with something ridiculous coming from an agent of the government or somebody in the news. You know, that's not totally crazy. What is crazy when you see everybody around you fall in line and you realize I don't live among thinking people. Michael, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank. So you know when the Reconquista ended, or the Reconquista ended in 1492, July 30th.
Oh yeah, July 31st.
Oh, was it 31st? Okay, yeah.
I saw that on the same exact day. I saw that. You know, John Ward, our good friend John Ward, he was the first one to actually call attention to this that I saw. pointed out all these coincidences. One of those coincidences being that this all happened in Ceuta with the Moroccans on the same exact day that the Jews were kicked out of Spain in 1492 on July 31st. So, I mean, I know. So everybody's piecing together these very, very provocative timelines that you can't unhear or can't unsee. And then, anniversaries matter a great deal. Dates and anniversaries matter a great deal to people, and especially the ones who plan things in the world. And we may not pay attention to them. People in the chat room may not pay attention to what's going on in the skies above us, the placement of the moon and the stars and all that other stuff. But the movers and the shakers in the world, they seem to think it has a great deal of significance. So that is not without merit.
Yeah, and another thing that was pointed out, you got the Straits of Hormuz, the Straits of Bab el-Mandeb, and now are we going to have a blockage of the Straits of Gibraltar?
Oh, I haven't seen anything that seems like that was a.
I don't know if it's happening yet, but I mean it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The third thing I want to say was I've heard the pronunciation of the Spanish enclave as Ceuta.
Could be. You know me.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard John B. Wells got it wrong, but a lot of people say Ceuta or Quita or whatever. But yeah, I've heard it pronounced as Ceuta.
Well, anyway. I'm looking at this. The Strait of Gibraltar cannot be legally closed by any nation due to international maritime law, but it could be physically closed through natural tectonic movements millions of years from now. Stupid. What a stupid thing. What a ridiculous answer that is. So, I mean, let's see here. Military contact, international law under the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea. Ships have the right to transit passage, meaning countries like Spain and Morocco cannot legally block everyday international shipping.
Yeah, it's a natural feature that, it's a natural, you should have freedom of navigation. Something like the Panama Canal, now that was built, or the Suez Canal, that was also built, so you can charge a fee for that. That makes sense, right?
Yeah. It's your carousel. People should have to pay a ticket. I get that. So that's a little we have there. Thank you for the call, Mike.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So let's go and take a really quick break. When we come back, I have more stuff for you. I have a lot more stuff for you. And then, of course, your calls. Taking this right into the 8 o'clock hour for as far as we can push it. Then we have the finale for the Huckleberry Finn Book Club afterwards. So don't go anywhere because we're not done at all. We got women's baseball. That was very interesting. I want to play that for a second. I have a couple of things I want to show you. And I know that somebody out there is just bubbling with things to say. So we will be right back in just about 60 seconds.
Welcome to Intermission.
Yeah, Intermission. Okay. Just to put a little bit of a divider between that and there. So, I have a few things that are coming in here. I wanted to, and then I saw, I have to read a comment to you that I saw right before the show. That is really confusing to me, but I have to read it to you. First of all, I wanted Wix Vixen from the Pilled, I believe. It's a new person over there, won the raffle, the super chat raffle for these coasters, and said he would pay it forward. please give it to somebody else. I'll take the copper in a postcard or something. But I'm going to re-enter these. I'm going to re-enter these, and I'm going to put some more silver and some more copper and a few other things into it this week for the Super Chat raffles. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you enjoy the show, please hop on into it. And tomorrow I'm also going to reveal all of the winners for the Keto Brainz raffle from July, which is going to be 5 winners, the grand prize and 4 runners-up. So we have the coasters are back on there. It has been paid forward. It was theirs. They paid it forward. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put another 2 ounces. What is this? Is this 2 ounces? I think this is 2 ounces. Yeah. 2 ounces. 2 ounces, 250 years of America. That's 2 ounces right there, as opposed to the 1 ounce from last week. And actually, Michael, who just called into the show, he knows all about these quarters. 4 silver quarters. Boom. I'll make a second prize for you, and we'll pull that out on Thursday night. On Thursday night, we pull out. So send a super chat on YouTube, Rumble, quite frankly, superchat.com, and Pilled. We'll do that real quick right now to see what's going on. Jay Britz, hello to you. Hello, Kitty. Says, hi, Frank. Hi, chat. I'm here again. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and a good day. Good Monday, if there is such a thing. There is. I like hanging out with you guys again on Monday night. So Monday morning work is usually a thrill. Hello Kitty also says, I gotta go, but then shouted out a whole bunch of her friends. Zoso Dude, Dusty Blue, Twee Girl. Hello, darling. I hope it is good. Susie Q and everyone else. Cheers. I have a date tonight. Well, you and Dwayne have a great time. Okay, over on Rumble, we'll see how everybody's doing there. The chat is lively. It's good to see you all. Be well. And then on over on Pilled, let's see. Delona dropped a whole sleeve of cookies in there. Icebox, thank you so much. Tommy J. The Safety Net says, Frank, just wanted to say how lovely, warm, and enjoyable the YouTube cigar and hangout on the porch on the other night was. Saturday night was very nice. I got to do that more often, I always say. You know, if nothing's going on, just park my ass on the back porch, nice little dim lighting, and just talk to everybody about life. It was really nice. It's unlisted now, but I think I should do that more often. Diane says, between New York and Michigan, I have lost all hope anything will be done ever. I don't give a crap anymore. Well, you can't not give a crap, but you have to find a way to not let it sting so hard that it ruins your day. You have to be able to, you know, let water roll off the back like a duck. Just let it roll right off of the duck's back. Thank you, Silly Boar again. Says, hey, Frank. Okay, now listen to this real quick. I have to put this out there. I got a message. It's a public comment. And it says, hi, I'm not even going to say their name because I don't want to bring any heat on them. I'm a lurker. I listen to your show. I listen to your show every night. I don't know anyone that works harder than you to succeed for your growing family. I'm going to hate myself for saying this, but you are the reason I listen. I don't care what the topic is and all that. Very nice. I was like, oh, this is nice. Thank you so much. It's good to be acknowledged. I don't care what the topic is. If you're reading a phone book every night, simply hanging out is nice for me, for you. I could care less about books or movies or anything else like that. But like I said, it doesn't matter what it is. If you had a show, a stream, I'm there. Now listen to this. All that being said, if you had a 2-hour show, but I could only listen to 1 hour, I would subscribe as a sponsor. Sitting in the yard, on the porch, the kitchen cooking shows, and if I was missing it, I would become a sponsor. The only thing stopping me from joining as a sponsor is the fact that I get to hang out for free. I will like and comment going forward, but I had to share my 2 cents. And I almost wish he didn't. I mean, damn. Thank you for the honesty, but I don't want to believe that this is a common sentiment. I love the show, Frank. I never miss it. I see the work you put into it, but free is for me, buddy. That stinks. Now listen, what he's suggesting here is never going to happen. There are people out there in this audience who seriously have no means to support. And that is why the show, part of the reason why the show is always going to be free. I don't feel like I should disqualify people from having some sort of nightly enjoyment because they are, limited in some way. But yeah, don't be this guy. Just going to put it out there, ladies and gentlemen, with whatever independent media you like. It's not even me. If you love it, support it. Trust me. Trust me when I say new media needs money to grow in ways that we didn't need a decade ago. And it doesn't take a lot to make things really good for the production. It doesn't take a lot. But a lot of the money that used to just live solely in corporate media has found its way into new media to co-opt shit that's going on over there. And of course, with all the production boondoggles that have gone on with shorts and live streaming and shadow banning and everything else, support the people that you like, please. Okay. And also to the commenter, you are missing out on a lot if you're not a monthly sponsor. I know you said, books and movies. Well, I'm telling you, those are awesome. Access to the classic episodes, Polaroids. I have a new pen pal. I can't wait to write to. But listen, this is voluntarism. I had to just put this out there. This is voluntarism. I am not included in your cable package at home. I'm not included in your internet package at home. I don't get a subsidy. Nobody that does what I do does. Not if they're worth the shit anyway. I made a nightly cafe here, and all are welcome. And I can only hope that you find me worthy of buying a cup of coffee and a scone from time to time. That's what I'll say, because $5 a month is less than what it takes to have a cup of coffee and a scone anywhere. But man, the comments I get sometimes, I could not believe this one. Anywho, that's all out of the way. Now let's make ours. Oh, this was funny. I cannot believe I saw this one. Kathy Griffin just had a full-on panic attack. I was on my daily walk and passed 2 LA sheriffs, one with his motorcycle on the sidewalk. I've been harassed and recognized by law enforcement for the last 9 years. I almost beyond belief. So one of them said to me, "Well, it's Kathy Griffin," and I started shaking. And I almost started crying, but I just waved and said, "Hey, fellas, could have been nothing, but now I have this scared feeling that I cannot get rid of." Well, just smile and be happy that people still recognize you, your howdy-doody ass. Looks like she grew her hair back. Looks like fucking howdy-doody. I just thought that was hilarious. I thought that was hilarious. Just smile and be happy. Now here's what we have. I wanted to bring up. We have a WNBA coach. Actually, I'll put this to the end. I'll put this to the end of it all. That makes a lot more sense. Over the weekend, we had I think it was on August 1st, it was the grand opening of the Women's Pro Baseball League. It was the grand opening. And they had a national anthem that was sung. And that's actually gotten more attention than the gameplay, because I will watch some of the gameplay soon. But listen to this national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
You can't tell me that most of the girls aren't choking on their tongues right now. You can't tell me that both teams that are lining up for this are not fighting every last demon that's inside of them. They're not fighting for their lives right now.
Through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh,
See?
say does that star-spangled banner yet
did you do this? Who scouted it? What are these, the concession stand workers? Who the hell? Oh, I mean, you want to talk about sending a message, an inverted message about what this league is all going to be about.
And the home of the Brainz.
It sounds like the Cowardly Lion. If the Cowardly Lion had a bad round of hormone therapy, that's what the Cowardly Lion would be. If I were king of the forest. But I'm trying to be bad. Frank, that sounded pretty bad. Not as bad as that. Oh my gosh. What the fuck? Who did this? Why would you do this? Yeah, we had to listen to the whole thing. We had to listen to the whole thing together. Now, the Women's Pro Baseball League, I saw somebody saying, I saw one person say, it's like a top tweet on X or something like that. Like, why is it that the Boston Red Sox are the only ones who congratulated the World's Baseball League? Because it's not serious. It's not a very serious thing. There's lots of baseball leagues and softball leagues out there. I mean, you want Major League Baseball to anoint this as something serious that people give a shit about? I mean, come on. Like, a product like this is not worthy of everyone's adulation just because it's girls. And look at this. So, hold on to this. Here's a clip. Everybody's like, wow, the flexibility. Because the first baseman goes into a split. It's right out of a league of their own. But it's everything up to the split is what I notice.
Look at the intensity on Schroeder's face.
The intensity. Through a fucking, if that was more than 65 miles an hour, I would be absolutely stunned. Through a meatball.
Hard hit on the ground. And Bryant keeps it in front of her, throws to first. The big split there by the...
Looks like little leaguers. Third baseman looked like a 12-year-old boy. Look at the intensity. I don't want to be doing this. Frank, it's very mean-spirited. Well, it's a joke. And to take a look at Jua Park brings in another one for the Fire Bells. Let's watch this one.
No outs here in this inning.
God, that took 2 seconds for the ball to make it to the plate.
That ball launched in off the glove of the center fielder. Here comes Kaplan. Held up at third base is Leguizamon.
Oh my gosh. Here's another one for
down,
you.
so some of the outfielders wearing those sunglasses to help protect.
This one's hit hard to the left side. It will drop in as launching.
Oh, come on.
With it. Here comes a run being waved home. Another for the Fire Bells and held up at third base. So 2 more runs cross the
Listen, I had to go ask. I had to look into it. I had to go look into this. Because what the fuck what are these meatballs that they're throwing? I said, okay, what dimensions are they working with here? What's the dimension of the diamond? They're on regulation diamond for Major League Baseball. So it's 60 feet, 5 inches between the pitcher's mound and home base, the plate. And then it's 90-foot base paths. So it's a real diamond, which is the reason why everything looks like it's so fucking slow. I looked into this. I said, hey, listen, what are the dimensions? We got 60 feet, 6 inches, 90 feet between the base paths. Now they moved all of the fences in. So like about 290 feet at the corners and other stuff like that. And of course they're using aluminum bats, because even if you move the fences in between just the differences in power and output between the men and the women, and the fact that these balls are if they're clearing 80 miles an hour, if the elite pitchers in this league clear 80 miles an hour, I would be absolutely stunned. You need a little bit of something coming from the pitcher to be able to, put one in the seats. And of course they have to use aluminum, because if this was wooden bats, they would barely be clearing the infield. But I was looking at whether or not there was anybody, like, are they radar gunning this? Or is there anything that you can tell me about the top speed? And I had one thing here. Top pitch clock from 60 feet 6 inches so far has been 81 miles an hour, with the average being around mid 70s. And that is coming from 60 feet. Now, to prove to you I'm not being mean-spirited about this, and that, what the hell is really just going on here? Because, what is it? Essentially, and you'll see it with the WNBA. What they're doing is they're taking worthless spaces and they're destroying it in order to make the case that the NBA, for example, the NBA, there's this one woman, take a listen to this. She's a coach. I think she's not the only one who made this comment over the weekend, said that men should be able to play in the WNBA.
I know you don't have the fever again in the regular season, but coming out of the break, one of the big news stories has been Sophie Cunningham and the protests for her and protests against her. And, they had a national televised game today and Cheryl, wore a shirt, and it's just a conversation. I'm wondering, just what do you think about it? Do you think that's good for the league? Does it detract from the basketball? Is it just noise? I'm just wondering what your opinion is.
I think, thank you for that question. I think just in terms of,
thanks for the cotton mouth. Thanks.
how I'm seeing it is, if I could answer with, like, for me, sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity.
No,
no,
it's not.
About allowing everyone to be their authentic self.
No, it's not.
I'm big on that just because
No, finger paintings, visual art, that's about being your authentic self. Sports is about who hits the ball the hardest, who can run the fastest. And of course, men playing against men and women playing against women, and not having, men beat the shit out of women in a boxing ring or at a wrestling mat or something like that. These are the people who are making it important to be so critical about what the hell is being pushed. But let's keep going.
Have been criticized for my height, for my ethnicity. I've been in those, you shouldn't belong here.
Right. You're a regular Yogi Berra, against all odds.
Many times. And for me, I don't want that space, especially Golden State, to ever feel like that. So I'm all about women, little girls deserving to play, and that includes trans women. So,
which means men. So here they are. You could say, well, you're telling me that there aren't some men that are playing the WNBA right now. But this is why I pulled this all together, as it came as like a combo package to me, is that what they're doing is they're taking worthless space. The WNBA is a worthless property. It is heavily subsidized. Nobody cares about it. The only reason why people are talking about it slightly more in the last 2 years is because of all of the controversy and the racial animus that is being put on display with the arrival of the Caitlin Clark and all that stuff. But I mean, it was a gag reel. They just had their all-star game like 2 weeks ago. It was a gag reel. The best of the best came to go play each other. Air balls all over the place. It's just ridiculous. But what they do is they take and they create a worthless space, and then they destroy it in order to make the case that the NBA, that more established leagues where people are actually putting all their time and their money into, they're being retrograde and oppressive for not allowing women in, for not, breaking up the men's spaces. That's exactly what's going on. I suspect that is what is going to be at least attempted with this women's pro baseball league, which is so laughable. It's so laughable. It's just because there's nothing. It's just weak. And let me just be fair about this. I love watching women's softball. I love watching women's softball. Okay, they're throwing 70 miles an hour, fast pitch, underhand, making it dip, dive all over the place from closer than a little league, a standard little league distance. You've got the plate in little league to the mound is about 46, 45 feet, something like that. And I believe that college and pro softballers are like from 43 feet. So they're like 3 feet closer to the plate, and they're throwing sometimes in excess of 70 miles an hour. The reaction time for a 70-mile-an-hour pitch from even 45 feet to a catcher in Little League, and there are some 12-year-old boys who can throw 70 and beyond 70. Some of them at the Williamsport when they do Williamsburg, when they do whatever the Williamsport in Pennsylvania when they have the Little League World Series. Some of those kids are throwing 75 miles an hour from 45 feet. That's a reaction time of if you're sitting in the box against a major league pitcher who's throwing in excess of 90 miles an hour. That's the same kind of reaction time. So I love watching women's softball. I had a lot of friends who played softball in college. I would love going to their games. You know, I mean, everything is compact. It is fast. And I don't take anything away from softball players, but this is like watching little leaguers. This is like taking a 12, 13-year-old boy off of the little league field onto the high school field and say, go ahead. They're getting crushed. And these are full-grown women. So I don't know, man. I don't know what the purpose of this is going to be. Of course, ESPN has like won the exclusive rights to broadcast all of these games and do the play-by-play because ESPN is a joke now too. They're essentially just CNN with basketball, football. It's just crazy. And that's what's going on with that over the weekend. Get a little bit of that, a little bit of this. And nothing else. Okay, 914-200-0269. Give me a buzz. It's Monday night. I feel like I got a lot out, but I wonder what the hell you guys are thinking. And we're probably going to get off a little bit early. So let's see here. Let's see. Silly Boar. Hello, Frank. Good to see you, Rob. Brewbark says, please consider Paul Anthony Wallace books for your book club. It's about awakening. Well, send it to me. Let me see. Remember, I like fiction for book club. I like using our imagination. I like that. I don't know what it's all about, but maybe that's what it is. Let's take a call, and I'll get back to these. 916, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank, this is Chris here again. Let me turn off the sound.
Hey, Chris.
Speaking of sports, did you see what Aaron Rodgers did on the Pat McAfee show?
I did. I have it. I have the bookmark over here. I can play it. I have some extra time. I can play it here, but I was going to definitely save it to see what Jay Gullinello thought about it the next time he's in too. Give us some thoughts, though.
No, I've totally been supportive of Rodgers and what garbage he had to go through for all that time. So right now it's a huge vindication for him, and the crowd was totally behind him. I was thrilled.
A couple times today,
making fun of Fauci, and oh God, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, I saw I saw this. This was from earlier on today, and it seemed like Pat McAfee just kind of wanted to move on, but he just kept going.
That is true. That is true. And the guys that were on the panel were egging him on. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Aaron Rodgers, a longtime Green Bay Packers quarterback, and he was with Green Bay at the time that all of the mandates and all the pressure was being put on. He refused to go and get the jab. And he got a lot of shit for that, saying that he was going to, do the monoclonal antibodies, the Regeneron. He was going another way with it. And of course, this turned him into like a wacko to a lot of the normie broadcasters in the news. Then after that, everything he did, I mean, he does some kind of like woo-woo, new agey kind of shit. It goes far beyond things like sensory deprivation. I think he goes into more of like, ayahuasca and all that. So he's like an outside the box kind of a guy. But I think he's about 42, 43 years old, and he's announced that this is officially going to be his last year It's going to be his second full year with the Steelers, and he's on the Pat McAfee show over here. Here's a 2-minute clip. Hey, Chris, thanks for the call.
Yeah, thanks. You're doing a great job. I love what you're doing.
I appreciate you, man. I really do, and I'll talk to you in a little bit. All right, later. Here it is. Take a listen to this.
A couple times today, because you've been very open about coming back for this year, last rodeo, and you talked about your wife saying, hey, have another year. Mike McCarthy being here, obviously a big deal. Can you tell us about the mindset of coming into your last season? Like, that's a real thing, it feels like, because is everything better? Is everything funner? Is everything more awesome? Like, how do you kind of view this year versus maybe the years of the past?
I'm going to plead the fifth.
Okay. Okay.
Like
Gotta
that.
love that guy.
Like that absolute coward, Tony Fauci. Absolute coward.
Yeah.
There, it's back,
Are
baby.
you kidding me?
Yeah, 111
You
times.
got a pardon and you're in front and you pleaded over 100 times at the White House. What are you scared of, Tony?
Yeah.
I thought you were the science.
Yeah.
I thought you were I am science, and you get up there and you can't answer a question.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And how much time did the network spend at that? How much time did they spend on my responses every week, on my vaccination status, on Taylor and Travis's wedding? Did they do even a minute? Did they do even a minute on Tony Fauci?
No, I don't think I've heard
Nah,
anything.
I bet they didn't.
But on that note,
Then there was another scandal this offseason, too, involving a voter for MVP, for Coach of the Year. How much time did your network spend? Where's your Kim? Did your network spend on
our
that?
network.
I wish how much time did you spend?
Yeah, the Pat McAfee show's on ESPN. It's a complete trash bin. Dumpster fire.
This is awesome.
Okay.
Go back to Fauci?
Yeah.
Go back to the coward Tony Fauci and his science?
Hold on now.
Who's spending the entire time writing in his diary about how fun it is to be famous? You got to be kidding me.
Okay, so on that note,
What are you going to say about me now?
Debate him,
What are you going to say about me
no,
now?
I got no debate here. You had a 500.
No, seriously, what are they going to say about me now? Now you can't talk about the COVID stuff because obviously it was made, in a lab in China. That's like not even questionable anymore. Tony Fauci is an absolute criminal. I'm on good terms with my family. I'm on good terms with my family. What are you going to say?
Oh, look at this in the background. Let's go commies with the Redskin. Oh, this is a nice crowd. I'll tell you one thing: the Dallas Cowboys are just I hate them. They're my team, but they are just so uninspiring. I know they're going to suck again because they're the Cowboys. And it would be sacrilege to me to give from like even just 10 years to say I'm going to root for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I'm not going to. But I would not be upset if Aaron Rodgers in his last year, that this could be his swan song, that he can actually pull this out and that he can make those 49,000-year-old knees work for him and to actually go on a run. I would be all right for Aaron Rodgers. And then afterwards, whatever. So
Now, what are you going to say now?
I want to let you know. It's been a fun ride for you, I would assume, over the last couple.
It's been a great life and a great career. And it's nice to be sitting on this side now, especially after that coward played the fifth over 100 times.
Okay.
I thought you had a part in there, Tony. Why couldn't you answer one question the entire time?
You got 4 minutes until the heart out.
Yeah, I got 4 more minutes in it. We keep this shit going. We keep it going.
Anything else?
I got at least 4 minutes.
Okay, a couple times today because
good for him. He would not let it go. I got 4 minutes until a hard break. We got to go. Come on, let's talk about something else. Now, I think you're making some pretty good television right there, Pat. You just keep rolling with it. You have something like that going, you just lean into that. Yeah, I know that the staff meeting at ESPN is going to be a little bit, it's going to be a little bit tense next time you go into headquarters, and all the scowling black women there are going to just want to, bite your head off. I understand it. I understand that the shit that they say on ESPN every day is unconscionable. But damn. What are we going to do? Paul Wortman sent me this. Speaking of baseball, what the hell is this? The caption says you can't be taking pitches. You can't be taking pitches during a gender reveal. Does this mean he's going to have to? Oh, okay. Oh, you. What the? Bro. You threw it right at my chest? Who the hell you think you are, Eddie Murray? Oh my gosh. Catch it. Why would you let it? Well, that was so stupid. That was stupid. Listen, I've done stupid things too. Sometimes I've had a brain fart. That was a brain fart. Maybe if you allowed him to do that 9 times out of 10, he'd probably catch the ball and say, "Here, try it again." But that was ridiculous. All right. Well, there's that. Okay, Nathan says, I missed you last week and I'm going to miss you a lot this week. Traveling sucks like that. Here's a little something for the Coconut Fund. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. And now you are in the running for, again, to see if the coasters are going your way. And now it's a 2-ounce slab of patriotic copper and a 4/4 silver. Tommy says that's been proven to be small, possibly about to die part of the listening population due to age. Frank, most people will pay good content and your content is boss. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's proven to be a small, possibly about, well, it's no, you're talking about the comment before about, hey, listen, I would definitely no, that right there. I think that's in a league of its own. Oh, I would definitely sponsor Frank if he started hiding it behind a paywall. But as long as it's out there every night, I'm just not going to sponsor him. Well, I'm sure that there are people who have the mooch mentality. But other than that, I know that there are far more practical reasons why it's just not the right time for people. What I'm saying is, don't give in to that. And then if you find somebody you like, throw a little something toward them. Because we are still on the upswing. We're still on the ascension as new media in particular, whether it's entertainment or some kind of visual art, whatever. I saw George Alexopoulos, our wonderful friend, the Greek artist, graphic artist. He's actually making a push to do this full time now, and was asking people the same thing. We will become a sponsor of mine on Patreon or whatever he has. It's just one of those things, man. I think that all of these portals for true self-expression or exploration of ideas, art, the creation of new art, that's just great stuff. And it's a great time. And overhead can be very low. It's a time where overhead could be very low, especially if you don't have a gigantic studio like this and other things going on. But hey, you know what? This is what feels best. So thank you all so much. And yeah, I don't think that is a sizable portion of people out there. I just want to encourage people not to adopt that mindset. Okay, let's see. Corey, thank you. And then Tommy says, Frank, you may not want that national anthem rendition to be a new visitor's first exposure to Quite Frankly show. Oh, I think so. I think it's totally fine. I think it's totally fine that they see that. Anybody who knows that the real sauce of the show, the real sauce, the secret ingredient is cringe and strange feelings. And ooh, what was that? If we can't jump into that, then I don't know what the hell we're doing here. Nephilim says, cheers, Frank. Thunderstorms and quite frankly, a relaxing night to start a week. Yeah, we were supposed to, I think we're going to get a little bit of thunder tonight. Tomorrow's going to be a little bit clear, and then it's back to the rain again. Today was nice. I liked it. Jay Semo says, hey, Frank, what's going on? Good to see you. And Joe Elaine is modding in Rumble, and I haven't seen Joe in a while, and she's wonderful, and cheers to Joe Elaine. She's fantastic. Really is. And I see Raz hanging out over there too. Raz is a good guy. I've known Raz for almost 20 years now. Never met him though. Never met him. Just taking calls from him and all that stuff. He was in the old Zadalza days, which again, make sure you go watch that old throwback when we had Vinny Pastore on the show. Would be good. Be good for you all. All right. Well, hey, that's all for tonight. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I think that we're going to have Alberto Marchetti back in the studio. We'll be hanging out together, and then the topics will be plentiful. I think Jerry Marzinski's coming back on sometime soon. It might actually be Thursday night. We might actually be diving back into, I think it was Jerry and Judy that came on to talk about schizophrenia. Well, there's a few extra things I want to ask them. There's a couple of extra videos that I saw of people who have actually just been like narrating what's going on in their head when they're in the middle of a schizophrenic episode. And I wanted to follow up with that. There's a lot of things that I wanted to do. And then starting next week, we have a wide open, I have a couple of really awesome first-time guests I'm working on. One of them is a professional declutterer, somebody who goes into certain spaces and helps truly debilitated hoarders find a way to organize and make sense of their lives. Like this is going to be, that'll be a good one. I can't wait to get them on. That's coming along. We also have a retired New York City police officer who has been on several huge cases. Like I'm talking about like intriguing cases about, infiltrating certain groups and some of them, spiritually malevolent in nature. It's going to be good. Walking our way through summer as I can't believe that there's a baby coming at the end of the summer. And I pray every day, uneventful and safe delivery. Let's get home and let's have a wonderful Thanksgiving and a great Christmas with that baby. Every day I'm get to just, because now the baby can hear everything that you're saying. Because I think we're like 26 weeks or something like that. 26 weeks. We're coming up on 27. And so I'm just, whenever I have a chance, I'm just, hands on the basketball. I'm like, hey, I try not to be too abrasive. I don't get, hey. I go, Luciana, it's daddy. You in there? Hello. And then I'll kick. Like, oh shit. The kick, that's I'm just trying to soak all that up. Took 6 years to watch Lauren walk around pregnant again. And I just want to soak all this up. Everything. Because I know that little nugget, that little coconut inside of her right now is going to be Aurora in like a blink. And Aurora and I had one hell of a wrestling. We had a couple of wrestling matches today. I come storming out of my office a couple times a day, and I put on different music. Like I put on Damage Inc. from Metallica. She didn't know what was going on. She said, I actually like bum rushed her. Damage Inc. Metallica. So I come into I have to cut this out before I upload it to Spotify. So I walk into the living room and she hears this. She hears this little buildup. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. And yes, that's all I have for you. Nighty night.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Quite Frankly is filmed before a live studio audience, and now our super chatters. Thank you so much to our friends over on Rumble. I have a couple people there hanging out. It was Nephilim and it was Jay Semo. Thank you to our super chatters all throughout Pilled. Tommy Jekyll and Ginster just threw down a little bit. Also Nathan and Corey with a little bit more. I appreciate you guys. Really do. Thank you for everything. Nathan Davis says support. Well, I love you, Nathan. And for all of you, everybody else out there, join the Culture Club on QuiteFrankly.tv. You'll see the Culture Club up top. Or go to patreon.com/QuiteFrankly, because that's where you can get everything, including specialty tiers, like how to become a pen pal of mine and everything else. Things you don't want to miss out on. It's really just, it adds something to your life. It adds something to mine. So, until tomorrow, take it easy.
Goodbye.
All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody.
Meow.